Power generation, or more simply, the cost of electricity, has been a massive topic of conversation the past few weeks, including in my own house. I'm George Hall, Member of Parliament for Calgary Skyview. As you know, each level of government is tasked with different responsibilities based on our Constitution and the impact on other governments. For example, while natural resources are a provincial responsibility, my government, the Liberal federal government, stepped in and ensured the Trans Mountain Pipeline was built from Alberta through British Columbia. This project will benefit all Canadians, and because it impacted multiple provinces, it was a federal responsibility. Conversely, power generation and the costs of your power bills are provincial responsibilities, which means here in Alberta, your electricity costs are an Alberta government problem, a Daniel Smith problem. If you have lived in multiple provinces, you will have seen the different charges and approaches to electricity generation firsthand. But even if you have been in Alberta your whole life, you may not be aware of the significant changes in our electricity grid over the past 15 years. The Alberta government has shifted from a primarily coal grid to primarily natural gas grid. This happened so quickly that most people didn't even notice. Why? In part, strong environmental regulations that are intended to happen in the future, but mostly economics. Natural gas is cheap and it is better environmentally than coal. Therefore, boom, quick change. That is better for Albertans and everyone concerned with climate change. Problem solved, right? Not really. While natural gas is better than coal, it is still an enormous emitter of greenhouse gases, especially when compared with renewable sources like solar, hydro, and wind. Easy now, I can already hear you saying that sometimes the sun doesn't shine and the wind doesn't blow. Yes, that's true, but often it does. When the sun shines and when the wind blows, we should use that energy. And the more of it we can use at those times, the less natural gas we burn. Then, and when the sun doesn't shine and the wind isn't blowing, we can still burn natural gas. But we can do more. We can use carbon capture and storage to capture the carbon emitted from our natural gas electricity plants to reduce greenhouse gases. You know how I know we can do this? Your Alberta government has been investing in carbon capture and storage for the last 15 years. Billions and billions of our tax dollars have been invested in technology and projects throughout Alberta to make carbon capture and storage efficient and economical. The plan has been written, the technology developed, all that is missing is the political will to implement. And that is where the federal government is getting involved. Exactly like the technology shift that enabled companies to shift from coal-fired electricity to natural gas so quickly, we need to have an incentive to push companies to managing their greenhouse gas output. And you know why we have to do this? Better than almost any other Canadian, the impacts of climate change are here, now, today. Major cities under siege of fire and smoke, hailstorms like the one in my riding, abnormal heat waves, drought conditions, and more. Alberta is on the front lines of the impacts from climate change. It is a huge problem where individuals can only do so much. So it falls on governments to make the changes for us. Changes that we are likely not to even notice, like shifting from coal to natural gas. It is time for the Alberta government and Daniel Smith to stop whining and take action. And we should probably talk about one more thing, the actual cost of electricity. Have you taken a look at your power bill recently? I mean, really, looked at it? I did. I was shocked to find that my actual electricity charges were so low. My electricity costs were about 10% of my total bill. The fees were what was killing me. Admin, delivery, transmission, balancing pool, local access, more admin, rate riders, franchise fees. Who imposes all those fees? Not your federal government, it's your provincial government. Daniel Smith loves to point the finger, But like my dad used to say, you point your finger at someone and there are three pointing right back at you. Danielle, let's talk fees and cost of electricity. I am ready anytime. Give me a call.